Hello and welcome to Tiny Desk Knitting with Emma. Today I have a bunch of stuff to show you. I have a couple of things that are sort of done. Well, one's definitely done, one's like sort of done. Talk about what I'm gonna be doing this fall. I've got my Alpenglow on. It's like 58 degrees now. So happy. So I'm wearing this. I said this before. I don't think I showed this one blocked. I showed it's like sort of blocked. It was like wet, sort of. But anyway, this is a great sweater. It's really fun. I used one skein of the Spin Cycle Dyed in the Wool total, and I did corrugated ribbing at the bottom and everything. So, I think perhaps with swatching I would have not had enough. But like I was like, I'm gonna play with fire if I swatch, so I'm gonna not do that. Anyway, so I've said this before, and I have not said that thing yet. This sweater is very tight in the yoke because the increases come like here and here. I mean, they come here as well, but like not that many. And the thing about a yoke sweater, if you have broad shoulders, I have broad shoulders for like a narrow person. Like I'm a pretty narrow person, and I have very broad shoulders for my frame size. And that doesn't really affect me in my day-to-day life that much. Like when I was younger, like I would buy like juniors like button-up shirts that I couldn't, like they were too tight. But like in my normal life, like if I go buy a shirt at Banana Republic or something, it fits like across my shoulders like a normal women's shirt. It's not really that much of an issue. It's an issue with the sweater. It's not uncomfortably tight, but it kind of rides up. Like if you just kind of let it ride up, you can see it kind of like does this. And the reason is because there are a lot of increases after the halfway point in the yoke. So if you're looking for a yoke sweater and you want it to fit not tightly across the shoulders, you want to find a pattern that has their increases are done. If it's top down, the increases are done by the time you get halfway through the yoke. You want to be done increasing at that point. You don't want to keep, or almost done increasing at that point. You don't want to keep increasing like here and here, right? So that's something to look out for. If you want to knit this pattern, try the men's one. I didn't buy that pattern because it's a separate pattern that you have to buy. So I don't know if the stitch counts kind of account for that, because the way most men are shaped is kind of like more up and down like this. And so maybe the increases would come faster. But that's something to consider if you are slightly more broad-shouldered for your frame. Again, that's proportional to your body. So something to note, but I do like it. I knit this in, I've talked about it a few times in like the past 2 months. I knit this in Petersholm Farm. Like it's just a farm yarn from Vermont. Just like, I think it's a sport weight. It's like wool, mostly wool, Shetland wool, and there's a little bit of mohair in it. I knit my mom a sweater in this once. It's like a yoke sweater with a Spin Cycle skein. It was a Jennifer Steingass pattern. It was New Leaf, and I really liked it. And I saw more of it. Like I was at the mill where they spin it in Vermont a couple of years ago. No, summer 2021. Yeah, because I was hiking Mount Abraham with my dad, and on the way back, we passed the fiber mill, and I was like, Dad, we're gonna stop there. And he was like, okay. And I went in and I got 3 skeins so I could make myself a sweater. And I surprisingly, they didn't sit around for that long. They sat around for like 1 year, and then I was like, great. I'm gonna pair those with my 1 skein of Melancholia Spin Cycle Dyed in the Wool, and we're gonna make that Alpenglow. And I really only used 2 of those white skeins. I broke a little bit into the 3rd one, but it was a pretty efficient sweater. So yeah, the purple is Surrey Alpaca. This is hand dyed by me. I held it double, and then this cuff and collar is Malabrigo Arroyo, the sport weight 4-ply in Anniversario, one of my favorite colors. But every skein looks really different because it's super variegated. I'm not super close to the camera today, so you can't probably see things in as much detail, but it's like my arm thing gets all twisted, and I'm like, I don't know. So I was like, whatever, it's gonna be how it's gonna be today. If you had a wide angle, you don't usually get to see this chair. It's usually, I usually move it out of the way. But anyway, a couple finished things a couple FOs before we get to anything else. Okay, so if you've been watching my channel since its humble beginnings, I said this last weekend, 2 weekends ago when I was filming. This was like my challenge. It was to knit every pattern in this book. Fair Isle Weekend by MJ Mucklestone, which is great. This is a fantastic book. So lots of stuff in here. Just 8 patterns. It's cute. It's got pictures of sheep. This is now available as an ebook, which is really exciting. So if you're looking for it, you don't want to look for the book somewhere that still has it, because not that many people still have it. You can get it as an ebook, and I'm going to link that in the show notes. This is what I just finished, this sweater. So if you watched the last 2 weeks, you'll see me working on it. Yeah, so there it is. And I need to make a fix on it, and I will explain what that fix is. I promise. Just need to, I need to fix something about it, and you'll see what that is. But I've made most of these now. I've made that one that I just showed you. I've made this, but I made it as like a regular cap because I didn't think that anyone I knew would wear a little tam. It's really cute. It's called Buness, the Buness tam. Made that. There is a video about that, like way back on my channel when I was still a nanny. I haven't made this yet, but I'm gonna make this vest in fingering weight. It's actually it's for DK weight. The pattern's for DK weight, but I don't want to do that. I have no interest in DK vest, so I'm gonna make fingering weight vest. So I haven't done that one yet, but it's in the cards. I did make this hat. That's my second episode ever. I did not make a pom-pom, but I did make the hat, and I wear the hat all the time. It's a great hat. It's a double brim, quick, easy color work. A lot of my friends have made this as like a first color work project. These, I made one of these. This is my other FO, but it's only half done. And I just made one. And I thought I would make the second one in different colors so that I could play around a little bit more. So yeah, I made that. This I made. This is the one where I kept saying the wrong name of the cowl. I kept saying it was called Vari, which is a similar cowl by Gudrun Johnston. This is called Kuvvel, K-U-V-V-E-L, by MJ Mucklestone. I made this for Brooke, my nanny kid's mom. A year, almost 2 years ago. Made this. This is my Cocklery cardigan. There's a whole series of videos on how I did this and turned it into a steeped cardigan. Oh, I should have worn that today. It's such a nice sweater. I really love it. So I haven't made these yet. These are the little Tamto mitts. I haven't done those. I think that's it. So I've made a lot of pieces. Yep. Let's just make sure that. So I only have 2 left, I think, but one's big. Lower Low I made, Buness I made, Molly I made, Rinner sort of, and Kuvvel and Cocklery. So there's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I've made 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. So I've made 6, well, 5.5, because this cuff is only 1 cuff's done, but it only took me 5 minutes to knit it. So I'll just make another one. I should have trimmed the ends before I brought it out, but anyway, let's start with the sweater. Okay, so I finished this. I just put it on because I just blocked it. Haven't trimmed any ends yet, and it is gorgeous. It's the yarn really settled. When I showed this to you last weekend, I had picked up around one of the sleeves and I was knitting it with like way more stitches than the pattern called for, and it was too tight and it just wasn't working out. And so I went back, I ripped back to the spot where I was picking up the stitches. Steek was open, but it's fine, it had settled, it was needle felted anyway. It's not like anything got pulled out. And I picked up 2 out of every 3 stitches, and that got me to 90, which was very close to 86, which was the number I was supposed to have. So that was better, and I used the right size. Actually, I used a bigger needle than I was supposed to because my 4 and my 2.5, 16 inches, were in the wrong sleeves. So I was using a US 4 for most of the sleeve, which is why I was going so fast. But you can't tell, didn't make a difference. Went down to a 3 when I got down to the mini twist area. Not a problem. Yeah, so did that. Though these sleeves they just flew because they were on 16-inch needles, and then I did the mini twist. Yeah, super quick, very easy, not a problem. Yeah, it was nice. So here's the only thing that I don't like is the neck is too wide. So because it's a drop shoulder, it's such a wide V that it goes like all the way to the ends of my shoulders, which makes it a really snuggly sweat. I mean, it's like, that's definitely a style. I think I'm gonna redo the neck, and I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. Here's what happened. For the sleeves, the issue that I had was that I picked up all of the stitches around the sleeve steek instead of 2 out of every 3, which I had to do when I redid it. I think that if I go back, tell me in the comments if I'm crazy, but I think that a V-neck can kind of like be a little bit adjusted by how tight you make the actual neckline. So I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna pick up 2 out of every 3 stitches along the neckline. Like, I'm gonna keep the back stitches on the needles because you can't do a whole lot about that because those are live stitches that you put on hold. So I'm gonna keep all those, and I'm gonna like go back and pick up 2 out of every 3 of these stitches instead of all of them. Because the only thing I can really fix at this point is the neckline, because this is like a steeked piece, and in the round you can't just like go back and like graft more stitches together or anything, like not do as many V-neck decreases. So I'm gonna try that. Maybe I'll use a smaller needle also. I'm gonna see what happens. So I'm interested to see. Again, I don't think this is a super big problem. Like, if that doesn't super work out, it's okay, because it fits like a sweater should fit. It's just like way off the shoulders. So I don't know if I would wear it, and I don't know if my grandma would wear it. It's like, and you know, when I first tried it on before I sort of blocked the whole thing, it felt way too big. But after blocking, it kind of settled, and the way that drop shoulder fits is big. It's wider than your body because those sleeve caps come down, and this just kind of hangs, and they look like normal sleeves. Like, the sleeves definitely look normal. But yeah, I really like it. Yeah, I do. It's nice. It fits great. It looks clean. The Fair Isle is fantastic. Just needs to trim. I need to trim the ends and fix that neckline, and then we're cooking with gas. But I love it. I think it's really nice. I may keep it if the neckline turns out great. I might just keep it. We'll see. I have a lot of sweaters. I don't necessarily need to keep it. All right. So the Rinner cuffs. I thought the Rinner cuffs were a good thing to cast on because a couple weeks ago, wasn't last weekend, was it? No, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. I don't know, I just like got in a Fair Isle mood. It was after I finished the Hilda. I should have been working on the cowl, the green cowl, and I'll talk about that in a minute, I promise. But I was like, oh, I want to play with different palettes, and I wanted to play with a palette of just blue. Or no, purple, just purples, just to see what happened. I'm thinking about knitting one of the vest or something in there, and like mostly purples, and see what happens with that. So I decided to just knit the Rinner cuff, the first one. I'm gonna knit the other one, like I said, in different colors and just purples. So I got my dark purples. Oh, I don't know what these colors are completely, but sometimes it is like that. This one's 123 mix. So dark purples, 3 darks. These ones go, you order them from light to dark. You can, so the light colors from light to dark and the dark colors from light to dark. There's the dark colors. And then the light colors, there's not a lot of contrast between all of these. I'm just gonna say that. First things first, there's the cuff. I'll show it to you in a second. This is Roma. The rest of these are Janus 2-ply. This is FC51 and this is FC21. This is the shade in which I knit my vanilla sweater, my very first vanilla sweater. So yeah, so these light colors, and then let's see if I can just, this is always a struggle. A little bit. There's just so many ends that are just loose. I'm literally tying up loose ends here. Okay, purples. So there we go. So this is my little palette here. High contrast, but like each of the colors flows pretty well into the next color in terms of like the light to dark within each. So here's the cuff. Again, it's not super high contrast. It's sort of like you can definitely see the contrast, but I love it. It's cute. It's fun. I knit it a little snug. Probably could have gone up a needle size or two, but I don't really care. There's a lot of ends in it, so it's hard for me to get it on my wrist, but I will put it on my wrist. What I like about it is that, okay, so like in terms of usefulness, I think, so I have a Barbour jacket, like a Barbour bead nail waxed cotton jacket, which is just like the most classic waxed cotton jacket you can like see. You'll see in like every English TV show or movie where they're like outside, they're all wearing them. And it's like waxed canvas like this. This is a Fringe Field bag from years ago before they closed. They were a great company. Have pins all on this side. I don't know if I've shown this, but they're great pins. A lot are from yarn stores and like, you know, stuff, but I also have like an Emma pin. I have Espace Tricot there. Knit City or Knitty City. Sorry, I don't know if you can see that, it kind of blows out. There you go. It's mostly from, this is a Philly joke. LaCroix, but LeJean. There's pen pin. That did go there. Just get a Toronto pin. I also went there. Anyway, I have a Barbour coat, waxed cotton jacket, and the thing about those coats that, again, if you know the answer to this, please tell me in the comments because I've wondered this for a long time. The like sleeves are not full length. They're mostly they go down to your wrists, but they're kind of short. Like they don't like have any extra material. And then most people wear them cuffed. You cuff the sleeve because the plaid pattern's on the inside. I don't always do that, but sometimes I do like turn the cuffs up because it's plaid on the inside. If you've ever that's like the Barbour signature, is the inside's plaid. And yeah, so I don't like when you cuff it, it's like even shorter. Like it's like this is how far the sleeve comes up. So there's this big part of your wrist that's just exposed if you're not wearing any gloves. So I thought I would knit something like this as just something to wear like when it's not like cold enough to necessarily need mittens, but like you don't want your hands to get your wrists to freeze when you're like wearing your coat outdoors. It's like, you know, you're warming your pulse points. It's like nice like to have a little woolly on there. Anyway, so I think I guess I could make the other one the same to have matching ones, but I just thought it would be fun to have like a selection of things like this. Even maybe the patterns would all be different. They would be like the same length, but I would make like different little patterns and they would all have like different colorways. I thought that would be kind of fun. Bespoke. So I might do the next one in like blues or something. I could do it in the greens that I'm doing my cowl in. I could just use some of those colors. I have plenty. But I do like it. I think it's cute. It's, again, the contrast is very low. Like I was surprised that like these two were not super high contrast together. Even. You can see them, but yeah, not that well. It's just interesting to me. That's why I like to do like little things like this, because sometimes I'll or like a hat, like I'll make like a hat and to check colorways, and oftentimes it's like too muddy, like they don't contrast well enough. Like I don't know if I ever showed it, but I made a hat. It was like teals. I was trying to do a colorway for a vest, and I never ended up doing it because I still didn't ever finish Hilda until like 2 weeks ago. So anyway, but I'd made this hat as like a way to test the colorway, and it was way too like low contrast. Like the grays didn't contrast high enough with the teals, and I just like, okay, well, it was nice as a hat. I gave it to Give it to my friend's mom. I have to make another one because I made hats for my friend Lauren, my friend who got married a couple last month. Made them for her parents because they like to go cross country skiing. So I made them these little hats for cross country skiing, like a Fair Isle cap, as just like, oh, like, you know, they were like friends' parents when I was growing up, and they were like awesome, you know, like you want to say thanks, and I have all these hats, and here's is a nice, like, I know these people will enjoy them or whatever, you know. So and they love like following the Instagram and like my Instagram, and they're so sweet. They're Kathy and Scott. Anyway, so I made Kathy and Scott these hats, and I gave Kathy the one that was kind of low contrast, but it definitely was like nice as a hat. It was just like as a sweater, this was kind of low contrast. But I was saying that because their friend, one of their friends saw the hats and was like, I need one of those, and they commissioned me to make one. And so I still have to do that because it's getting to be cold and I need to like cast that on. I'm thinking about doing that. Like, I should just cast that on this morning. She wants one that's similar to the one I made for Lauren's dad, which was greens with one. I made both of them have a tiny pop of pink in the middle. But the thing that I thought was interesting that Jennifer said she really liked about it was that they start with a little corrugated ribbing. And most have like, I don't know, a lot of patterns just say like there's like an order of colors that you should do. I always just do a bunch of colors. Like if I'm using 5 colors as the contrasting, or as, you know, the like foreground colors, I'll just do those 5 colors. And Jennifer said that was her favorite part about it, because I was like, oh, I just do that to like test the colors with each other to like make sure that they like look good with the background or whatever. And she was like, no, it's like, that's the best part. Like you have like all the different. So I thought that was nice. I was like, oh, okay. I guess that's like a desirable effect. So yeah, maybe I'll do that today. I gotta come up with my main color for that. I was gonna do it after I finish this cowl, but I was like, I'm never gonna get this thing done, so I might as well make the hat so it's done in time for like winter, which is like now in Vermont. So there's that. Okay. What else am I doing? Okay, so here's the thing. It's fall and I want to cast on stuff. So I decided, so I casted on this. I showed this last weekend, the Maddie cardigan that I cast on. Finished, not done with the second flower, but I'm like close to being done with the second flower, which is nice. Very nice, very fine gauge color work, because this is a super thin yarn, as you can see if you look at it here. This is thinner than, like if you like hold up this. Here, let's hold it up with the purple so you can tell the difference. So I don't know if you can tell, this is definitely thicker than this, but not by a ton. Like this is like a light fingering weight, and this is just like sock weight, 4-ply jumper weight. So I started this and I was like, well, I wasn't really working on it this week. I finished the reindeer sweater and then it was way too big. So I'm gonna pull that out and do it completely do it again, because I thought about felting it. Like I have an agitator in my washing machine and I was like, I guess I could felt it, but I don't know if the shoulders would be too tight if I felted it. So I was like, I'm just gonna rip this out, start again, and make like check my gauge math better and like go by a measurement and try to hit that stitch count, rather than like, you know, be like, let me just knit a medium on larger needles so it fits like a large. It's also just too long, so I'm gonna take some of it out, which is fine. It's like, it's not really a super big deal. But yeah, anyway, so I'm just gonna take the sleeves, aren't gonna have to come all the way out. Sleeves are just gonna have to come out to a certain point, and then I can just finish them straight. And then the body will have to come out, but it's okay. It doesn't take very long to do it. I'm not super beat up about it. I actually did the same thing with a sweater about this time last year. Ripped the whole thing out and started again because it was too big. And yeah, that's what happens when I try to fit sweaters for men, because when I can't try it on them. So anyway, yeah, but I digress. I didn't work on this week. I just picked it up again yesterday, and I said, okay, this is fine gauge color work. I don't want to like just work on this because it'll take up all my time. So I'm just going to work on that for like an hour and a half at a time. And then I thought, I don't always do that thing where I work on a project for like 1 hour at a time, and then I switch to the next one, or like 3 hours at a time and switch to the next one, or 5 hours, or whatever floats your boat. 10 hours. Some people do 10 hours on a project at a time, and then they switch to the next project, do 10 hours on that one. I don't think 10 hours is productive. I want to work on multiple things every day. So I thought, let's just do an hour and a half. Not super strict, but like, let's do that and have a few things in the rotation. So I'm going to do this. Next thing I'm going to show you, and then the cowl. So I have to do the cowl work on the cowl this morning because I didn't do it yesterday, and I did these two yesterday. So yeah. Okay, so this one, eventually I'm gonna get past the color work, and then it's just gonna be vanilla, and it's just kind of, you know, knitting at work or knitting during trivia or knitting during social events. Like, that's fine. It gets done at that point. It's not such a pain or a slog. I'm not super worried about it. After the color work, it's like, I don't feel like I need to force myself to do color work because I like to knit color work. I like to knit Fair Isle a lot. But sometimes there's just like a bunch of things on the needles, and I'm like, I want to knit all those things. So I have to be like, sit down and work on this one. Then you sit down and work on this one, and then this one. So yeah, the color work is great. In terms of Fair Isle weekend, by the way, I'm gonna try and work on, when I finish the cowl, at that point, maybe I'll cast on the vest. I need to think about colorways for that vest. Maybe blues and grays. I'm a big blue and gray fan. Blue, white, and gray. We'll see. I need to do a little swatching and maybe knit another one of these with the colorways that I'm thinking of using for the vest. A little while ago. Because, I mean, I'm gonna try and knit through a band on the cowl. That's kind of what I like to do with the cowl, is like finish a band, and it doesn't take an hour. Sometimes it takes 2 hours to finish one of those bands because they're pretty thick, but that's okay. It's like you check off one band, and then you're one band closer to being done. Another sweater that I cast on. Again, I just felt like I want to cast on. Like, I want to have a few things on the needles to like ease boredom. If I don't want to be knitting this, I'm gonna knit that. So here's what I thought. Oh, there's a lot of stuff. Oh, it's my needle bag. This is my needle bag, which I've described has Eeyore on it. My friend Monica's mom made this for me. Thank you, Cindy. Monica texted me yesterday. She lives down the street, and she said, she texted me a picture of a finished sweater that she's been working on. That's really beautiful. It's like a woolen mohair white sweater. And she's like, I don't know what to knit next. And I was like, wow, I've never had that problem. So I always have so many things on the needles. I'm just like, oh, I'll just finish that thing now. But she always works on one thing at a time. And it's like, oh yeah, good question. Oh, excuse me. I slept for almost 7.5 hours last night. It was like unheard of for me. And I'm still tired. I have made a priority to go to bed earlier this week. Every single day this week, I like went up to bed at 10:30 and I went to sleep. And my Fitbit tells me, like, it breaks down my sleep for me. And I got 7 hours or close to 7 hours every night this week. And I was like, dang, nice. So that feels productive. Okay, so I showed these during my sweater stash down video, which you can see somewhere around January. De Rerum Natura, Ulysse in Baleine Blue. Baleine is a whale. Baleine. In case you are not Canadian like me and have seen everything in French and English for many years, and your French vocabulary. I feel like my grammar is not great. I haven't really spoken French in a long time, but my vocabulary of French is pretty big because in Canada, everything in the grocery store is in both languages. So I know a lot of food names, and I know a lot of like road sign things, and like, yeah, anything like that. I would know in both English and French. Anyway, okay. So I had this in my stash. I got this at the very beginning of 2020. I got it at Espace Tricot. Funny enough, I also got that blue lip, this in case, oh my gosh, in case I just didn't say, This is Le Petit Lamb's Wool by Biche Bouche. Here's the tag. But I also got this at Espace Tricot at the same time, in fact. Le Petit Lamb's Wool. So not to be confused with Le Cashmere Lamb's Wool. I got this, again, so long ago, almost 3 years ago, and you can get this at the Woolly Thistle now. You can get this a lot of places. A lot of my like local yarn stores have this. This is very light blue. And these two yarns, I got 2 sweater quantities that day at Espace Tricot, and these were them. I got a third. I spent a ton of money there that day, I know that. I don't know if I got a third sweater quantity though. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, here we go. There we go. Cool. So, not to be confused with Le Cashmere Lamb's Wool, which is the same weight of yarn. It just has a little cashmere in it, and it's a lot more expensive. But yeah, they have, Woolly Thistle carries that, but they also have it at like Looped in DC. They have it at Loop in Philadelphia, or they did last time I went there. They also have it at the Knot House in Frederick. Like they have that Le Petit Lamb's Wool a lot of places, and they have like mohair silk, Le Petit mohair silk, which I used for my classic sweater. Lots of good stuff. But anyway, I find it funny that I'm knitting with both of the sweater quantities I got that day, almost 3 years ago. Clearly I'm trying to work way back. Like I'm trying to start from like when I was, you know, first buying all these sweater quantities. I want to like knit from back to front, which does not always happen because I always cast things on that I just buy and like things like that. But I thought it was nice. It was like, oh, I should try to do that. Cast a bunch of things on that I bought, you know, so long ago. So I'm knitting, as I said I was gonna knit, knitting Grey Ghost by Thea Coleman. And it is bottom up. So I'm a little wary that it's bottom up. Thinking of doing a provisional cast on for the sleeves and like starting halfway up, and then if I like run out of yarn, I can just get another ball and like helical knit down the sleeves rather than having to deal with that in the yoke. But yeah, so it's just, at this point, it's just a ribbed band. I worked on it for about an hour yesterday. The gauge is 20 stitches over 4 inches. Again, sometimes these yarns go a lot farther than you think. So I have 6 skeins. I'm not necessarily anticipating needing another one, but it could happen. We'll see. I would like to not need another one, but if I do, that's okay. I'll just do some alternating skeins in the yoke or wherever I need to do that. And that's okay. Question is, where am I going to get it? I guess I can get it at Espace Tricot. They ship to the US. I'll get it somewhere, doesn't matter. But yeah, the Grey Ghost it's very nice. It's like it has like a lace pattern on the front that's pretty simple. Kind of reminds me of the sock patterns that I design. A little simple lace on the front like that. And then, yeah, like simple ribbed kind of on the back, like there's like columns of knit stitches and then like furrows of garter stitch, which is really nice. Just wanted something that was like, sorry, I thought one of the girls was coming down, but I think it was just Jordan going to the bathroom. I wanted something that was like something that occupied my brain a little bit more, that felt more like I was like working on something, if that makes sense. Like a lot of the color work things I do, they feel like they just kind of fly and they're not really like, I don't feel like they're very hard work, which is maybe not great. But anyway, I was like, you know, it's just, yeah. I felt like I wanted something to like work on that was like, when I get to the end, I will feel a real sense of accomplishment that I finished this. So instead of starting with cables, I'm starting with this because it's a little more manageable and I'm very used to lace. Yeah, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. Again, I would like to try and like work on it about an hour a day so I don't like burn out and get bored of it. Because sometimes I feel like if I limit myself in knitting something every day, like a certain thing, or like make myself switch, and I don't want to stop, it makes me continue to want to knit that thing. It makes me like avoid the burnout there. Like I'm like, oh, but I want to keep going. Oh, I'll keep going tomorrow. It's okay. Like tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll get to do it again tomorrow. It's like more of a treat. So it's hard to do that when I get to the end of a project, because like once the end's in sight, I just sort of go monogamous and I'm like, I'm just gonna work on this. But yeah, for something like this, it's like, yeah, I think especially because the yarn is so nice, it's really soft, it's very springy, that kind of thing. Like it's like, oh, this is kind of a treat to knit with this yarn, so I'm gonna, I'm gonna like enjoy it. There's that. So that's fun. I am still working on socks. Okay, so I decided, well, my Emma socks they got released by the Woolly Thistle, but I'm gonna still have those in my lineup for next year when I get, when it's the month of April, and that month socks. So I am still knitting socks. I have slowed down. I'm gonna release the sock patterns next year, once a month. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. And then at the end of December, there's gonna be a final pattern. It's like a bonus. So that is fun. I'm gonna do that. I have done a lot of the work for that already. I have knit a lot of the socks already, photographed a lot of them already, like in multiple yarns and sizes, which is great, but I really needed a break from that. So I'm sort of still knitting socks. I'm trying to still knit like at least a pair a month, but next year I am gonna still be like doing that, like working to kind of get the samples ready to go, still knitting a bunch of the samples, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's still like in the cards. I'm taking a breather right now. Something that I remembered recently was that this time last year, I got kind of into knitting the DK weight socks, which like holding 2 strands together. And I have started doing that again. It makes the Felici go like more Felici can be knit. Like I can knit the Knitpicks Felici that I get held double with white or like black or something. And it doesn't go farther because you're actually using a lot more yarn, but you get to have some leftover. And I'm like, I want to have like leftover Felici just to like have self-striping leftovers for like fun stuff someday. At some point I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna find something to do with self-striping leftovers and be really excited, like make a cowl or something like cute. But regardless, it doesn't matter, I will. I knit one pair that's just on the blockers hanging out. I knit them a while ago. They were all ribbed, and I held one of the colors with black. But I started knitting another pair the other day, thinking they're just good gifts and they go so fast. Started knitting a pair the other day for my dad for Christmas, and they are super nice, and they're like country birds, and it's the mallard colorway, because I knit some socks in that color for my friend, was Jordan's boyfriend, but he's my friend, Nima, in like February, and then I had like half a skein left over, so I am making my dad some socks in those held with white, and they look great. They look like camp socks from LL Bean. So maybe next week I'll do a video on DK socks again, because I always just kind of like, I would always end and be like, next time I'm going to show you these. Like, this is what like, I'm going to hold this with this, and I'll show you like what it looks like next time. And it was fun. And so I think that's to show those will be fun and kind of come full circle. I was thinking the other day about it. It's the end of September now. It's my mom's birthday today. I did remember to send her a gift. My dad's gift I sent a little late, but I actually sent him physical objects in the mail, so I don't think they've arrived yet. But my mom's I sent as a digital thing so that she could get it today. What was I saying? Yeah, socks. Nope, I lost it. It doesn't matter. I know, I can't remember. I was just on some thing and I just completely got lost. Brain fog. Anyway, I scheduled my booster. Speaking of brain fog, I scheduled my booster for just about 3 months after we had COVID. So October 3rd, I'm getting my booster. And then, so I should be amazing, good to go for Rhinebeck. Thank God. What was I saying that I completely lost my train of thought? Whatever. Making this pair of DK socks, and I would like to make a bunch of pairs of DK socks, like socks held double, sock yarn, self-striping held double. Yeah, with signature 4-ply West Yorkshire spinners. I have a few half skeins of that I've like left over from a pair of socks, and then all that Knit Picks Felici. So it's gonna be a busy fall working on those. Sometimes I do ribbed. The ones I'm doing now, the mallard ones with the white, they're not ribbed. They're just plain. So that's fun. But yeah, it's so cool. I'll show you those. I'll show you if they're done next week. I'll show you them next week. If not, they'll come at some point. But that would be a good thing because I don't think I'm going to get a whole lot done on these things in the next week. So anyway, yeah, that's all for now. So thank you for watching. This has been Tiny Desk Knitting with Emma. Bye.